all those that are against Trump and have nothing to do with him and want to slander him and poke uh, bad stuff against him, this ain't for you. I'll put that right up out there right now. So, those that are for Trump, if you want to watch it, you're more than welcome to. If not, that's okay too. But those that are against Trump and want to slander him and all that, um, you might want to wake up and smell the coffee because all this crap talking against him and slandering him and all this, we're done. We're finished. Your history. Uh, we don't need your kind of people around here. We don't, I mean, it's just pathetic. It's sickening. It's beyond comprehension, and I'll put it that way. Okay, you guys are talking trash and can't get over the situation that Hillary lost, which I'm very excited about. I'm glad she lost. Okay, I'm glad Obama's out. Okay, because what this woman has to say, maybe it'll click in your brain how things are. Okay, so with that said, if you want to listen, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But I thought I'd make this video for those that do want to listen and learn what the fact of life is and how it's fixing to change and what it's all about. And we Americans, quote unquote, we rather have Trump than anybody else. Unless somebody better than him can step up and do what needs to be done like he's doing, hey, we're all for it. But Americans are tired of the crap. We're tired of being the underdog. We're tired of being stepped on. We're tired of being abused. We're tired of being used and accused. So, for those that want to listen, here you go. All for you. Made especially for you.
Just wanted to give a shout out uh, to my Brittany. Yeah, that pain never goes away. So, anyway, I will try not to get out of control today because that's really hard to do.
Yep.
But I'm going to really try to keep it brief. I just got done watching the Donald Trump speech. He was in Phoenix, Arizona this evening after being in Mexico earlier today. He was invited by President Nieto of Mexico, as was that other unnameable demon who was the Democratic presidential candidate. They were both invited. Donald Trump accepted and hopped on his plane and went over there, being presidential, just like he did for the Louisiana flood victims. Just saying. He was very well received by President Nieto. They have agreed to work together to solve these illegal immigration issues, for which Mr. Trump did come up with a very comprehensive for the dumb libtards who keep saying, well, he doesn't have a clear plan. Watch the speech. That's all I have to say. If you have any questions, refer to your dictionary because it was a very comprehensive, very well thought out, he even numbered the action items on the plan. So if you can't read, go to school. If you didn't understand what he said, libtards, Democrats, Hillary, because I know you're going to try to lash back and still say, well, it was vague. At least he had a plan.
Right.
I don't see Hillary having a plan except Oh, let's increase illegal immigration by 600%. Let's just have them all over here. Let's just invite everybody with a total unvetting. Ask Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, how that shit worked out. Oh, she won't talk to anybody because she knows that she screwed up. And now the German people want to oust her sorry ass, just like they should. Because the illegal Muslims are destroying Germany, just like they're destroying Greece. They're destroying France. And I'm not making it up. It's not racist. It's not conjecture. It's fact.
Right.
Just look at the videos. Read your news. Do your research. I'm not going to go into that. I wanted to go back to Mr. Trump's speech. I was literally in tears. I mean, literally. Just like the first night, I believe it was 14 June 2015, which was last year, when he went down the escalator and first announced that he was running for president, I literally cried tears of joy.
I'm with you.
Because there were no choices that I would have even taken a second look at. I just wouldn't have even bothered, which is sad because many people, for many years in our distant past, died to have the right to vote. So it really sucks that one would be led or drawn to not even want to vote because all of the candidates suck, except Rand Paul or Dr. Ben Carson. I definitely would have voted for Dr. Ben Carson or Rand Paul. So anyway, as I mentioned, Mr. Trump gave a very, very comprehensive immigration plan. I mean, if you have any questions, then you really just need to go back to school.
That's
Because he laid it out, including comparing and contrasting the current state of the illegal immigration,
Oh, come on. What the hell happened?
the immigration system with the laws that are in place to prevent these things from happening in the first place. But Barack Obama is writing so many damn executive orders, you can't even keep up. He's written more than any other president in doggone history. It's like now we're just so swamped, we don't even know what's the last one he signed. And he usually does it when people are paying attention to something else. Another thing that I want to touch upon briefly is these stupid polls. Who are they polling?
Yep.
Worms? Malevolent spirits? Because those are the only beings that I could see who would still favor Hillary Clinton in any election.
Yep.
Something just came out about her again today. More emails. Another email leak or email dump regarding the Benghazi debacle. I haven't had a chance to do a deep dive into it yet, so I'm not going to go into it until I read it. Maybe I'll report on it next time, but it's just another brick in the wall. There she goes again. There's something wrong. How can you... I don't understand anybody who would vote for her or who would support her. How is she, when she's 2 points ahead in the poll, Donald Trump's trailing, but he's just not there yet. It's still her. It's all about her. Her. Tired of hearing about her. When I have to... This is what I have left of my husband. This is what I have left of my daughter. I don't want to hear about your failed policies and your pandering to black folks and Latinos and whoever else will even look at your ugly face, you ungrateful, egomaniacal, sanctimonious cutbag.
Amen. Get on it, girl.
How can you get on TV and talk about somebody who actually cares about this country.
Yep.
How? He's not trying to put the country in the ground.
That's right.
We know what you're doing. We know what you are now. You can't hide anymore. You and your little glorified secretary, Uma Abedin, and all your jack crap. Don't try the misdirection. We don't care about her and her wiener.
That's right.
You're trying to divert from what's going on with you. Just stop.
Right.
It's pathetic. Tell your handlers to just, you all go to hell.
Amen.
Donald Trump packs stadiums. He has 10,000 people inside the arena and another 3,000 on the outside waiting to get in.
Uh-huh.
But she's ahead in the polls constantly? That's bullshit.
Amen.
That is bullshit.
Amen.
I don't listen to these polls. They're not accurate. There's no freaking way she could be winning.
That's right.
Nobody likes her. She might get 200 people to show up at a high school gym. Nobody likes her. Nobody. She stole the nomination from Bernie Sanders. People are really highly upset.
Yep.
So when I drive around Denver and see these dumbass libtards with their hanging hair stickers, makes me want to puke right on their car. Donald Trump talked about veterans,
Yep.
which is something obviously near and dear to my heart. This flag is in here and it means something.
Right.
While I see people burning it and pissing on it, are you fucking kidding me?
Amen.
Leave! If you don't like America, get out!
Amen. Go
I'm
on.
over this shit! You
Amen.
ungrateful bastards! Go to hell where you belong! Leave us here who want a free country!
Get on it.
How quickly we forget how America was formed!
Uh-huh.
You want to vote for a candidate who's going to put us right back under subjugation
There you go.
forever,
There you
infinity.
go.
This country will never be the same. You have no idea what you're doing.
Get on it, girl.
Voting vagina? Yeah, good luck with that. Step aside so that a real man can run this country like it's supposed to
That's right.
and not into the ground. I watched the Angel Moms on stage with Donald Trump. These Angel Moms and these Angel families are people who have family members who were killed, murdered by illegal immigrants.
Right. Right.
Donald Trump is the only person who is sincere. He is the only candidate who is sincere. Here's Hillary with her dumb Black Lives Matter pandering bullshit.
Amen.
Oh, I carry hot sauce in my purse. Why? Does it keep you alive? Liar. You're a fucking liar. This is one black person who's not voting for you.
Amen.
And I'm sure you don't care. But I do. I've lost a lot. I've been homeless. When my husband gave his life for this country, the VA didn't want to pay me. It took me 5 years to fight for money that he earned,
Yep.
to fight for benefits that he earned.
Yep. That's bullshit.
But these people can come from every part of the fucking world and they sit in the welfare office and you damn near give them the computers and the wallpaper off the damn walls and the carpet to boot.
Yep. Yep. And it's bullshit.
My family and I were homeless. We had jack shit waiting on you people.
Huh. Right.
I'm still waiting on benefits that haven't been extended to me because of this poor piss poor administration in the way that it's being run.
Right.
You want to know why I'm voting for Donald Trump? Because he's real.
Amen.
Because he's not plastic
Uh-huh.
and just a panderer and a liar and a thief. How the hell are you head of the State Department and you're getting billions for pay to play? It's insider trading, bitch.
Amen. Get on it.
People go to jail for insider trading.
Well, don't seem like she's going.
Anyway,
Right in the swamp.
this is Karen Kennedy with Reuters News. I just wanted to say, please be cognizant of how you vote. A lot is at stake. I've already lost my husband, my daughter, died within a month of each other.
Yeah.
And both because of this failed administration.
Right.
All that I have left is what sits here. And I have my Unsung Hero Award from his military unit. It's always pleasant to look at and remember.
And you
So here I
deserve.
am,
And you
trying
deserve
to
more.
reinvent myself because I didn't plan on being a widow.
Right.
Soldiers are committing suicide, veterans are committing suicide at the rate of almost 30 a day.
Yep.
Some because they cannot get proper medical care. They sit in the parking lot and they shoot themselves
Yep.
because they can't get proper medical care.
Right.
While Hillary flies around in her pantsuits,
Yep.
her nasty pantsuits, and has the gall to talk about somebody else
Yep.
after everything her and Bill have done.
Yep.
God is going to whip your ass.
Amen. Karma.
You got a lot that you need to repent for.
Uh-huh.
And while you're sitting up talking shit about Alex Jones and Donald Trump, you need to look in the mirror.
Right. Right.
Even demons like you can be saved.
Oh, God, no.
But you'll never admit that you're wrong.
Right.
So, I don't like you. And I never will. Anyway. Vote Trump.
Amen.
And we're back. I have 5 reasons the left is projecting their negativity onto President Trump. They have been trying since 9 November, when the final results and the final count was in, and President Donald Trump, candidate Trump then was named President Trump. So there's so much news, and I'm glad to be back on with the massive censorship of YouTube. Who knows how long conservative shows are going to be on, people with conservative views. I actually posted a brief Twitter video today, and it got picked up by Brother Wayne Dupree. Big shout out to Brother Dupree, and thank God for him and all the work that he's doing, because see, when you step out into the trenches and you go down into the rabbit hole, this is not easy. People, for some odd reason, they don't get it. And the content of the brief video that I recorded was basically, if you don't support the president who is a prosperity president, President Trump is a prosperity president. He believes in empowering people. He believes in jobs. He's a jobs president,
Right.
not a sit on your ass and smoke weed all day president.
There you
That's
go.
not him. If that's what you want, you're going to have to go somewhere else.
Right.
President Trump is a career president. He is a small business advocate. Just last week, the other day, he had the truckers from around America. Truckers. Prior to that, he had, I believe, a teachers not a union, but a kind of a teachers association. He brings people into the White House who are regular, everyday people, because though he's a billionaire and he built his business, his empire from the ground up, he is still very personable, and he still wants to know the pulse of the people who make the wheels turn.
Right.
So how do you do that? You appeal to the people through their hearts. You
Right.
win hearts and minds, just like Trump did during the campaign. He won the hearts and minds of people who may not have been aware. I've been a fan of President Trump for years. I knew eventually he was going to run for president. I just didn't know when. So that wonderful day in June of 2015, I literally started crying because I just could not believe it was finally happening.
That's right.
Anyway, he is a very generous man. He's a very tough man, but he's fair. And I said that in my video as well. But if you don't support a president who believes in prosperity, who believes in bringing jobs back, who believes in getting down to the LCD, the least common denominator, you learn that in junior high math. Get down to the least common denominator. See what is going on from the ground up and how you can build upon that.
Right.
That's what he does. He gets in the trenches. He doesn't look like it because he's a billionaire, but he also is very personable. He also interacts with the people who work with him. He also does very generous things for people that is never talked much about, because the far left is so busy making a failed attempt
Yep.
to demonize him in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And we're done being gaslit. It's not working anymore. The Russia thing has gone to Russia and back 700 times, and it's still not working.
That's right.
We don't believe you. There's nothing there. But when you talk about the Clintons, there is something there.
Yep.
So this video is 5 reasons the left is projecting what they have actually done onto President Trump. It's a strange phenomenon, but as you can see, with the amount of people in this country who are still completely clueless, it's got a strange way of working. So, one of the projections, mind you, these are projections, these are things that the Democrats are actually guilty of, that they are projecting on President Trump and saying that he's done. Okay? So keep in mind, this is projection. So, for one, the big misconception is that Trump has some dealings with Russia, and everybody around him is a Russian agent. Chuck Schumer, he's done, we don't even talk about him. The John McCain, so Schumer and McCain, Dumb and Dumber, or is that him and Lindsey Graham? Dumb, and completely gone. Or is that Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters?
Yeah,
Anyway,
there's them.
he just called out Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, a physician, just like his dad, Ron Paul, just straight up last week called him a Russian agent. You are working for Vladimir Putin. He just put it out there. The man is the male, because he lost his man card a long time ago. He's not a man. He's a male because he's got the body part, I guess. But he just straight up said, he's just working for Russia. He's just carrying the water for Russia. He's just working. What is wrong with these people? So anyway, that's one of the big misconceptions, big projections, is that there's this ongoing thing with Russia. They had a fake Senate hearing touting Russian involvement in the election. All this goes back to try to say that there is some reason that it is not justified why Hillary lost the campaign and that she should actually be president according to them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down the list of the reasons she lost, but trust me, it's not anything to do with Russia. Because while America was in the middle of elections, Russia was in the middle of drills. They had the biggest drill in history, in modern history. Russia's huge. The former USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, huge, millions of square miles. They had a drill during the time in 2016 when we were trying to choose our president. They had a drill. President Putin told Russians, if you have children studying abroad, if you are abroad, you need to come home now. Because he thought at the time that Hillary was going to likely win. And she said she did, she wanted war with Russia. You know why? Because war brings in cash.
Yeah.
And her being in the seat of the presidency, that was the ultimate gig for her.
Yeah.
Being that she and her husband had been grifters since the 60s. Anyway, so what actually happened was $150 billion deal to Tehran to support Hamas. That was under Barack Hussein Obama. So that actually happened.
Yep.
He actually did that, but Trump is accused of some dealings with Russia, and that's the reason, supposedly, according to them, why Hillary lost the election, which is completely and totally, categorically false.
That's right.
$221 million that we know about to Palestine. Yeah, the ones that are seemingly perpetually at war with Israel, who think that the land of Israel belongs to them.
Yep.
Yeah, so Obama gave $221 million to the Palestinians right before he left office, within the 2-week window. Think he could have given that money to veterans, maybe?
Yep.
I'm the widow of a veteran. I don't know, maybe. Just a thought. Instead of, let me go back. Let me back that up. You know what veterans got for a cost of living allowance raise for 2017?
Nothing.
$3.50.
That's right.
$3.50.
Yeehaw.
If you call the number, you can listen to the recording, and it tells you got a whopping 0.03% raise, which is 0.3%, not even 1% cost of living raise.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go on. $33.6 billion to Iran between 2014 and 2016 for a nuclear agreement that he made to enrich their ability and capability to produce nuclear weapons.
Just gonna go against us.
What moron would help Iran produce nuclear weapons?
That's what I'm saying.
He did it. So, with going back to this Russia thing briefly, the first casualty was Paul Manafort, if you remember that. And his name has started to surface along with Roger Stone here recently, where the far left, they're just grasping at straws. They're grasping. They're like, oh, I know Paul Manafort hasn't been in the news lately, but he was former advisor to President Trump when he was still campaigning, and they pulled some kind of relationship, a business relationship that Mr. Manafort had with a Russian oligarch, and made it this huge deal. But not talking at all about Hillary Clinton's multi-million-dollar uranium deal with Uranium One out of where? Don't worry, I'll win. Russia. When you start talking about that, they grow silent. It's like somebody, there's crickets all of a sudden. They have nothing to say. They don't know what to say about it. I've never even heard a response when that's brought up. But they've got Russia, Russia, Russia all over the place concerning President Trump, but it doesn't exist.
That's right.
The few dealings with the Russians that have taken place are supposed to take place, given that President Trump is the president of the United States. He's going to talk to the leader of Russia. Seriously?
That's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm talking about. It's pathetic. Next, I'll go off on a tangent, so I have to be careful. What's the next thing? Oh yeah, calling Trump a liar. I've seen that so many times, and it infuriates me. So I will get into little Twitter battles with dumb people because I'm confrontational in that regard. I don't like when they say that what has he lied about? Name one thing that he's lied about. They can't come up with anything. All they say is he's a liar. He's a liar. And Hillary Clinton, the other candidate for president, wasn't a liar. Isn't a liar.
Yep.
She didn't lie to Congress.
Yep.
During the Benghazi hearings.
Yep.
She didn't lie to Congress.
There you go.
During the email scandal. She didn't lie about anything. Nothing, right? She didn't lie to the FBI. And her husband didn't meet former Attorney General, big mistake, Loretta Lynch, on the tarmac in Phoenix, Arizona on July 2nd, 2016. Didn't happen, right? Yes, it did. Thank Christ for the local reporter, I pray they're still alive, who broke the story. Or we wouldn't have known. Because they ain't saying nothing. They don't tell on themselves. Clearly. We had to thank Christ for WikiLeaks. There again. All this stuff. We didn't know all this stuff. Anyway, I'll go off on another tangent. But she literally lied to the American people.
Right.
There's videos still out there of her saying there are no emails that she sent or received. She just flat out lied.
Yep.
Flat out lied. One of them was a United Nations conference. Flat out lied and said she had never sent or received any classified information on her private server. First of all, she shouldn't have had a private server. You know what? Moving on. Number 3, the Democrats and the far left said Trump is, this is the good one, not accepting the election results would cause a constitutional crisis, according to Hillary Clinton.
Really?
What would cause a constitutional crisis if he just did not accept the election results? Guess what? He did accept the election results. And so did us conservatives who supported him from day one.
Right.
We kindly, gladly, proudly, honorably accept the election results. Number 4, Trump is a racist. Categorically false. He's a racist? Really? Let's see. Why then was his former opponent, Hillary Clinton, on a black radio show saying that the thing, when she was asked what is the favorite thing she carries in her purse, she says hot sauce. Is that not racist? Let Donald Trump had said something like that. Let Donald Trump had said he carries hot sauce in his wallet or in his night bag or something. We would still be hearing about it right now. Okay. But because it was Hillary Clinton, you didn't hear anything. Only from us conservatives. We're the only ones who reported on it. But she said it. I heard the radio show. She did. She said it.
Yep.
Hot sauce. Do you see her in black neighborhoods now? No.
Nope.
When is the last time you saw Nancy Pelosi go to the inner city? In Oaktown or Long Beach? When's the last time you saw Maxine Waters go to the ghetto? When's the last time you saw Chuck Schumer go to the ghetto? But these are the main people in Congress and the Senate who are representing their states who are so hell-bent on ousting President Trump, but they want to stay in their respective positions pretty much until they die in the chair.
That's right.
They're all too old and they need to just go. They've been sucking up money from the American people, and it's
Right.
gotten so good to them over the years. They don't want to leave. They don't
Right.
want to lose their power. They don't want to lose their influence. They
That's
don't
right.
want to lose the money. They don't
Right.
want that money to stop coming in. Even though they've made so much money, they could go somewhere and retire and not even take a hit. We're the American people. We're going to be paying their salaries until they freaking die.
That's right.
But it's about power. They want power. They want Nancy Pelosi wants to stay in power. They all just want to stay in power. So they keep claiming Trump is a racist. Oh, let me guess. Is it because he said he wants to protect the borders
Uh-huh.
for the American people who are here from illegals who keep committing heinous crimes against Americans?
Right.
Even legal immigrants can't stand them because then they end up going to prison and we still have to take care of them.
Yep.
Your tax dollars. So because he doesn't want a country full of, as opposed to Hillary Clinton, who said she wanted hemispheric open borders. She wanted the floodgates open.
Yep.
She didn't want borders. She just wanted people just flooding in.
Yep.
Because, see, she's always under lock and key. She's always got guards surrounding her. So she and her little two-person family have nothing to worry about. You know, they have armed guards protecting them.
That's right. Exactly.
So why should she care that people like Kate Steinle was brutally murdered on the San Francisco Bridge just out walking on a nice sunny afternoon with her dad? And her last words to her father were, "Dad, help me."
Yep.
That's what we're supposed to accept and just want. You know, the far left is completely silent on those types of things. And I'm so tired of watching these Hispanic, white, black, Asian people making excuses for these illegals who commit heinous crimes, who are in some sort of official role within a city, within a county, within a state. It's, who is her name? Sarah Saldana, who is the head of ICE.
Uh-huh.
She should not be the head of ICE. I watched Trey Gowdy destroy her
Amen.
in congressional hearings because she can't ever make anything she says make sense. Sarah Saldana, look her up, and you'll see Trey Gowdy owns her. Every single time she has to come before Congress and explain why did that illegal rape and murder that young 14-year-old.
Yep.
You know, it's stories are constant. 2 weeks ago in Rockville, Maryland, 14-year-old, you got an 18 and a 19-year-old freshman in high school,
Yeah.
one from Honduras, one from Guatemala or El Salvador, whatever. Why are they in a high school full of children?
Yep.
Why? They're 19 and 18. They're young adults. If they were going to do something with them, they should have sent them to a trade school so they could learn to work.
Uh-huh.
But no, let's just stick them in a freshman class full of young girls, and they dragged a 14-year-old in the bathroom and gang raped her.
Yep.
Right in Maryland. Look it up. I'm not making this up. Anyway, Trump is not a racist. That is categorically false. It is a lie, and it needs to stop.
Amen.
What was the last one? Oh, that President Trump keeps flip-flopping on what he said. Oh, he didn't do what he said he was going to do. You know what? Like he said in a recent press conference, he came into a mess. He was
That's
left
right.
a big, fat mess to clean up.
That's right.
Yes, he was. from the previous administration. He was left a mess. So this didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to get fixed overnight.
Right.
So I urge you, patriots, conservatives, don't turn your back on him just because things didn't get done the second he went in there. And recall this: he has such heavy opposition to anything that he tries to do. Good Lord, Neil Gorsuch, his pick for the Supreme Court justice to replace Antonin Scalia, which is really not possible. God, we would love Antonin Scalia. But these Democrats are putting him through the ringer. Everything President Trump tries to do, that he has to rely on these dumb Democrats and the dumb Republicans to try to get some backing and get some things going to try to make this country great again like he promised. Roadblock, blocking, impeach him, kill him. That's all they can't stand him because he is actually working. He's not in bed with you freaks. I'm not even going there. I'm not going down that road right now. He's not in bed with the establishment. Period. End of story. He doesn't need to be. He doesn't need your funky money.
Amen.
He doesn't need, you can't catch him in any scandals. So you make things up and you put it out there just to see what sticks. Because that's all you got.
That's right.
Congratulations. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. So anyway, keep your faith in God first.
Yep.
And trust that President Trump is going to do what he said he was going to do. He's already been over-delivering.
That's right.
I made another video just going down the list of things that he's accomplished already, and there's more since I made that video. So I tend to get a little long-winded, but it's because there's so much every single day. There's so much news, so much to cover, so much going on. We're living in the end times, folks. You better get on the side of justice, freedom, and the American way, because
I don't know about you guys, but I am all for what she is saying. Everything she is saying is on the money. She's on it, and she's speaking the truth, and I'm with her, and I'm like her. If you don't like what's going on, go somewhere that you can live where you can be happy, okay? You ain't got to stay in the United States. You can pack your crap and get the hell on down the road. And that's my take on what she's got to say, because she has got what is going on, and it's just ridiculous on how people are doing this, man. Like he said, he's in it for the people, not for the money, okay? So all you liberals and backstabbers and sidewinders and two-facers and all this other crap can just go on down the road, because we don't need you. I'll tell it like it is. I'm like her. You know, he's doing it for the United States. He's doing it for the Americans. He's doing it for us. Okay? So you can take it for what it's worth. If you don't like it, sorry for your luck. Get the hell on down the road. You know, where you just can go to be happy. Go to these other places that people are doing their people wrong. Who's getting raped, killed, sodomized, traded. You know, I mean, come on, get real, people. Get off the friggin' wagon and look at what's going on. You know, so that's my take on it. Like I said, you can take it for what it's worth, or you can leave it on the table and shove it up or under the rug, or whatever you want to do. But that's what I got to say on it.
But the more I watch videos on YouTube, I don't see why I have anything less to say than anybody else. And certainly what I have to say is a lot more pertinent than a lot of things that I see on the internet nowadays. So here goes. I am trying to figure out, I'm putting my finger on the pulse of America. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on with people. What is it that we as a society have acquiesced to accept just to be accepted? I'm not really much on Facebook or I like Instagram. I don't mind social networking in the context of give me information or disseminating information that is useful, because we really do live in a fantastic time in life, and there is no time to wait. There are, if you read Daniel 12:4, Daniel talks about the Bible, by the way. Daniel talks about, people are going to be running to and fro. They don't know what to do. They don't know where they are. They don't know who the heck they are, even. And there'll be an information overload. And that's what we're experiencing right now. There's 50 million news channels. There's people putting stuff all over the internet. Some know what they're talking about. Some don't. Some are just yakking. Some are doing dumb crap that really doesn't mean anything. But they get a million hits and likes because, I don't know, I guess people just like that crap. But, we're living in, as Alexander Jones puts it, an information war. Thus, the show and news channel InfoWars. So, the opposition says that they're losing that information war. The establishment, that would have been Hillary Clinton who said that so eloquently. Anyway, I had a question.
Sorry about that. I had a phone call come in. Now on to what we were talking about.
What is wrong with what is it that people don't like about Donald Trump? He's arrogant. So you're not arrogant? You're not vain with your little selfies in the background? You're not selfish? You're not vain putting your little news stories on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram? Look at me. I'm on the toilet. That's not vain? That's not arrogant? Okay, let's move on. I'm sitting in a restaurant. I look up at the TV and say, oops, I gotta go. Town hall is coming on with the Republican candidates, John Kasich and Jeb Bush, and Donald Trump's coming on. He's my fave. Oh, Donald, I've loved Donald since the 80s, man. She looked at me like she wanted to stab me with the damn fork. What's wrong with you? Donald is a hot mess. Why is he a hot mess? Because he is speaking truth.
Amen.
See, that's not new. That's way back in biblical days. People speak truth. Nobody wants to hear it.
That's right.
People want to live in fairyland and have pixie dust sprinkled all over them, and have the trolls and the fairies and the pixies come out and welcome them, and everybody sing something nice and sweet. Nobody wants their little feelings hurt. Oh, I'm gay. You won't bake me a cake. When? I'm going to sue your ass. People can't take things. We live in a cushioned little weird bubble now. You can't say nothing without people getting offended. Good grief. Comedy is nothing but offending people.
That's right.
You wouldn't even have stand-up comedians if there were no ability to talk crap about people. That's what you do. Some people make their money. Ask them. You name one comedian that doesn't talk crap about people. Anyway, so I got to leave the restaurant thinking, what is wrong with this heifer? Why does Donald Trump have to be the bad guy because he speaks truth? the Pope says today, I read in the news that Donald Trump is not a Christian. If he doesn't want to build if he wants to build a wall on the southern border, oh, he's not a Christian because he doesn't want to invite millions of people in who are angry and think that they are better than us.
Uh-huh.
Anybody heard the word infidel? Because that's what the people, the specific people that he is trying to keep out, believe. We are not worthy of anything we have. We're spoiled rotten, which we are as a Western culture and society. Yeah, we are. But it doesn't give anybody the right to come in and destroy a community that opens their doors to help you, as Germany has learned, as Sweden has learned, as Italy has learned, as Greece has learned, as Poland has learned, as they're continually learning all over Europe and the West, that you cannot throw open your borders, Angela Merkel, and tell a bunch of people, come on in, we got you.
Yep.
We're gonna give you a bunch of free stuff. We're just gonna take care of you. What the hell did you think was gonna happen, woman?
That's right.
Did you think nobody would answer that? Now, Sweden is the rape capital of the world. Rape's up 1,400%. I don't know, according to the Center for Immigration Studies, I believe is where I read it. If I'm not, I'll go back and make sure, and I'll re-report. Deutschland, they're handing out pamphlets and circulars and different things to people, newcomers, talking about, this is how you properly treat people here. There, things like that do not work for people who come in thinking they're better than you.
That's right.
Off the bat, I'm better than you. Thanks for opening your door. Think about it in your own situation as a personal. If you're in your home, you invite people in because you're being a nice Christian. You're trying to be nice to people. You're trying to do the Christian thing. And they kick your damn door in, raid your refrigerator, eat up all your food, use up all your utilities while you working every day. And every day you get home, they laid up watching TV, destroying your house. They don't clean up your bathroom. They leave toilet paper all over the place, drink out of the milk jug, and don't contribute anything, and rape your kids. Okay? Because this is not conjecture. This is not making things up. There are news reports. I watched hundreds of videos on this subject, and I've seen the degradation of Deutschland. I actually studied German in high school. I was a nerd. I was weird. But I studied German in high school for 4 years. I've always wanted to go, love the country. But, people are in this, they're still in this mode where they're living in the past, and they think that they still have Adolf Hitler's mess to clean up, and they don't. There comes a time that you have to move on and not put yourself in such mortal danger because you're trying too hard to be a good whatever you want to call it. It don't have to go to that degree. But anyway, so Donald Trump is the only one who's questioning very hot topics that other people go, yeah, I know what's going on, but I'm not going to say that.
Exactly.
He says it. He's always been like that. I have followed Donald Trump since the 80s when people want to bring up, he went bankrupt and he lost his, okay, whatever. What good businessman doesn't fall on his damn face? The point is, he didn't stay down there.
That's right.
He picked himself back up. He dusted himself off and said, all right, I'm back.
That's right.
And he is. And I was watching in June of 2015 when he said that he was going to run for president, and I was excited because I knew that he was going to raise the ruckus that he's raising now. Could he be somebody other than what I thought? Yes. because I've been disappointed before, and so have all of us. Anybody who's a doggone patriot who sees what's going on in this country, we want a real change,
Right.
not implied. We want somebody who's really going to take the damn reins and make changes that will hurt. I
Amen.
promise you, they'll hurt. Because a lot of this free stuff is going away. Period. It has to. We are. Last I looked at the debt clock, you can look it up. I think it's debtclock.org or debtclock.com. It's constantly ticking, and it's gotten better over the years. There's hundreds of things on this website, so you can see where your tax dollars are going. Where $18 trillion or more, and it's constantly running. The clock is running. It doesn't go down. It's always running up.
Yep.
This is what Donald Trump is trying to get a grip on. People threw a doggone fit. I was watching the campaign when he said, I'll stop illegal immigration of Muslims until we see what the hell is going on.
That's right.
What is wrong with that?
I don't.
What is wrong with that? You can scream racism all you would like, but ultimately, when people, people don't react until it hits their own house.
That's right.
If they were asked personally, hey, we're blah blah, DHS, whatever. I don't care. I'll just make up something. 1 million acronyms in the U.S. government. We're so and so, and we want you to take in about 15 refugees or economic migrants is the thing, because there is a difference. I'll touch on that in just a moment. But we want you to take in these people. Well, okay. Well, when you start to notice things are totally different in your life than they were before you took these people in, you'll change your mind.
That's right.
But this is what Donald Trump is seeing. Jeb Bush ain't saying it. He's a proponent for illegal immigration. Marco Rubio is not saying it. He's a proponent for illegal immigration. Benefits him. Benefits all these people who are not saying it. I love Rand Paul. I was very sad when he dropped out. I love Dr. Ben Carson. He's awesome. He's saying things that people, not always what people want to hear. That's the problem. We live in a society where people just want their ears tickled all the time, and they don't want to hear the truth because the truth hurts, but the truth makes you free.
Amen.
And maybe people just want to be subjugated as long as they get free stuff. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But look, the Sweden, it is turns, for example, they turned a cruise ship into a refugee camp. A cruise ship. Do you know how expensive it is to make these ships? Do you know how these luxury cruise ships? You ever been on one? You ever taken a cruise? The ones they charge you, I don't know, $1,000 for 3 days and 42 nights somewhere. I don't know. They're housing these people. Oh yeah, I saw another news report. Let me go back over here so I get it right. Oh yeah. In the UK, luxury limo service for migrants. Luxury. Stretch limousine. I saw it on YouTube. Look it up. That's the headline. They're flying them on private jets. Look. You can't make this stuff up, man. Private jets. Flying them on private jets. Private jets, headline, luxury limo and free hotel for refugees in UK village. But locals live in fear.
And here we are in major debt. Veterans not getting the help they needed. The poor is getting poorer. The richer is getting richer. People pouring in, wanting all this free stuff, food stamps, and government assistance, and all this. That just ain't right. We need to take the swamp down. We need to drain that sucker. And what she's saying is all on the money. I mean, it's ridiculous. people of America is tired of the BS, and we need some stabilization, and Trump is here to do just that. And that's what she is talking about. These immigrants and migrants and refugees and all these other people just coming in because they ain't got what we got, but they want what we got, and they're going to take it from us. And if we let them all in, where are we going to be? We're going to be where they were. The whole friggin' scenario is going to swap places. Do you really want that? I mean, seriously, give me a friggin' break.
Look it up. They fly them on private jets. Sometimes there was one jet where it was just one person flying back to Somalia or somewhere, I think it was. One person. You know how much it costs to fuel one of them daggone things?
That's right.
One person. One. Count it. Okay? Several buildings. I read a couple of months back about a hotel that people showed up in Deutschland. People showed up for work one day and they were turned around and said, "Up, you don't work. Sorry. You don't work here anymore. Meinst du das oder sagst du das nur so?" That's the German that I remember. Which means, do you mean that, or am I being punked, or what's going on? No, you're fired. Why? I didn't get any notice. Oh, because this is now a migrant hotel. This is a refugee hotel. Luxury hotel turned into a refugee hotel. Okay? There's a point where you try to do too much damn good and you commit your own. Germany is committing cultural suicide.
Yep.
Because they keep down this path without changing head first,
Yep.
and the entire country will be under Sharia law.
That's right.
And look up what's happened in Hamtramck, Michigan, where people are awakened at, I don't know, 6, 7 a.m. with the Muslim call of Allah or something over the loudspeaker. That's Michigan. Okay? That's Michigan. There's Cologne, Germany, another hotel, the Bahn Hotel, used to be a luxury hotel, and it now houses immigrants. 45 million euros.
Yeah.
Euros. Wow. Now I'm in Greece. Forgive me. Not 45 million euros. 45 million euros. Euro. To house people. A former 4-star, 5-star hotel turned into a migrant camp. Okay, let me get back to that because I said I would. There is a difference between a refugee and an economic migrant. What is being experienced on the most part is a bunch of economic migrants who have entered Germany because Angela Merkel promised them all kinds of freebies, okay? And they have taken over. There are no-go zones all over France, all over Germany, all over Sweden. There's places that the European people who are native to that country in that particular area in that town, they can't go. Okay, so refugee is someone who is fleeing an oppressive government or oppressive ideological views, and they are actually at war. Syria, they are at war. There's been a constant bombing campaign against Syria since, I don't know, October 2011 or so, and that you can look it up and look up the history of that. You'd be very interested to know that the United States has a lot to do with that. That's news. That's that. Look it up. It's not just me saying it. It's not conjecture. It's not me just making up something. It's there. Look it up. Look at Zero Hedge has stories about it all over the internet. Just type in who started Syrian war. So
Right.
the Syrians are actual refugees. And usually, from what I've seen in these videos, the Syrian people are very nice. They're very grateful. They're very appreciative. They're just glad to be out of, they don't even want to leave. They didn't want to leave their home. But for goodness sake, they have children. They have families. They needed to flee war. But when you send out a message to a bunch of people and everybody hears it,
Yep.
and you don't have any way to vet these people, they come, they show up, they don't have any papers,
Yep.
and you don't
Yep.
turn them away. You don't know where these people are coming from.
That's right.
Everybody's saying they're from Syria. All of a sudden, everybody from Syria.
Yep.
All of a sudden, yep, from Syria. No, you're not. You know doggone well you're from North Africa, or Afghanistan, or Iraq, or somewhere. That's who's showing up, and they're not fleeing. They are what's considered economic migrants because they are coming expecting free things. And I have seen the videos. They're not nice about it. They're showing up at these offices and they are banging the doors and they're kicking the doors in and they are mean. They want their money. They haven't worked. These are not people who are skilled workers. Some of them they don't speak their language. They don't want to assimilate.
Yep.
They don't want to learn the German culture. They want to take over. They are turning small German towns into places that are starting to look like war zones.
Yep.
And people who are native to there have to leave. They can't stay. But anyway, a refugee is fleeing war. An economic migrant is showing up because people have promised them something for free. Or even if they haven't been promised, they're still showing up on your doorstep expecting you to take care of them without contributing much.
Yep.
They can't contribute to the economy, so the people who are taxpayers have to be responsible for footing the bill. It's just the way it works. And Donald Trump is the only candidate, period, who is talking about issues that are really affecting the
American people.
what's become the degradation of this country. And he's sick watching it.
Right.
And every time the establishment tries to throw something at him, I'm telling you, the favor of God is on him. And he, he does not have to be some.
All right, maybe we can finish this without no more interruptions.
Bible-toting Christian to speak truth, because sometimes you can't get these mainstream preachers to speak truth. So I would like if people, I would just urge people to do some research, spend a little time. You have a computer in your grasp. We have smartphones, mobile phones. Everybody's got a doggone mobile phone. And if you don't, my gosh, downtown, they're handing out Obama phones on the doggone corner. You can educate yourself. Don't sit and be a victim. Don't sit and just chomp and gobble up all this crap that's being shoved down your throat. Right. Nobody cares about the damn Kardashians. They're old. They're done. They keep coming up with things to try to keep people interested. And we're just not. We're done. All right? Enough. I don't want to hear about Kim and her freaking kids and her fat butt anymore. I don't care about cocktails with Chloe. That doesn't matter. They're trying to keep you in a fog. And it's worked. Yep. Get out of the fog. Unplug from the matrix. They're trying to soft kill you. They don't want you knowing a damn thing. They want you under their subjugation. No wonder Alex Jones is yelling and screaming. It's because people, you just don't seem to be getting it.
That's right.
This is being shoved down our throats, and all we're doing is sitting there wondering, when's the next iPhone coming out? You got to do better than that.
Amen.
Last story I'll touch on is that these are arduous times that we are living in.
Right.
And there are times that we can either bow down and be slaves, or we can be at least be well informed. We owe it to people who have had to die for things that they knew.
Yep.
And this is not a game. This is not a joke. People, come on now. You gotta wake up.
That's right.
You gotta wake up. And don't,
Get real.
whatever you feel about Donald Trump or any of the other candidates, that's your business. But at least get up, do some research, try to figure things out with the information that you're given. Don't leave it up to mainstream media to feed you a bunch of garbage.
That's right. Amen.
Know it yourself. And today is 31 August 2016. This is the end of August, and it is a tough time for me. It commemorates the passing of my firstborn, who was 25 when she passed away. This is my beautiful daughter, Brittany. Gorgeous. Life snuffed away from her. Big medical, big pharma, Obamacare.
Yep.
Yeah. So, just wanted to give a shout out to my Brittany. Yeah. That pain never goes away. So, anyway, I will try not to get out of control today because that's really hard to do. But I'm going to really try to keep it brief. I just got done watching the Donald Trump speech. He was in.
Alright. Well, I done played that one, I think. But anyway, we're going to slide on over to something else here. Just a quick. See what else I have on here because I had to redo the video. So hang with me and I'll be right back.
When are you Democrats and you far left liberals going to get it? Eh? Nothing you're doing is working. Nothing. I was especially pleased to see two screw-ups in one press conference in one night. Maxine Waters of California and Nancy Pelosi, Senator Nancy Pelosi, I guess she is, both so loudly opposed to Donald Trump, to President Trump, and they literally fell over each other, making asses of themselves. They look like they starred in the movie Idiocracy. They should both probably stop passing that meth pipe around, because Nancy Pelosi blatantly at this press conference talking, blabbling on about the Muslim ban, which it isn't a ban, we all know it's a travel restriction, you know. But she stood there and literally let this statement leave her face that she couldn't work with President Bush. It's like, what? Did she just say that? Did she really just give us conservatives something else to laugh at her face about? Nancy Pelosi, who looks like somebody took a sawzall to her face.
Yep.
Oh, one more plastic surgery, girl, and get done. I could not believe she did that. And then we got a bigger treat. Maxine Waters came right behind her. I don't know who was first, but here she is saying that President Trump embraced Vladimir Putin of the Kremlin. You know how bougie black folks try to act like they're just better than you, and it's weird. Maxine Waters does that. But what did she say? Oh, that he embraced, President Trump embraced the Kremlin, embraced Vladimir Putin, and that Russia was at war with Korea. She literally said that. Go back and look at the videos if they haven't taken them down. But she literally said she couldn't remember Aleppo. Gary Johnson, that rang a bell. Anyway, she couldn't remember Aleppo. She said that Russia was at war with Aleppo in Syria and that they were at war with Korea. I mean, both of these females, one right behind the other. It was just such a treat to watch them be bumbling fools and fall flat on their faces. They couldn't have done a better job if they had literally slipped on ice and cracked their faces. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you for giving us Trump supporters more to laugh at you about and show us how dumb you really are.
Right.
Just because you have letters after your name doesn't mean that you're smart. It just means that you spoke with the right people and got in the right places at the right time. But clearly, they're delusional or senile and need to retire, or just plain stupid.
Amen.
But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that because I've had enough fun with it for one day. It was such a treat, I couldn't even believe it. It's better than a cinnamon roll. And I do love good cinnamon rolls. But I'm just going to revisit this point that the Democrats, the Democrats, and the libtards keep forgetting, and that is the concept of hard work.
Right.
We have an example here, and I'd like to use examples that people can understand, because clearly when you're dealing with these far left liberals, they're not playing with a full deck, so you have to slow things down for them and make it easy to understand. So hopefully somebody will get something out of this who previously thought. But what did she say? Oh, that he embraced, President Trump embraced the Kremlin, embraced Vladimir Putin, and that Russia was at war with Korea. She literally said that. Go back and look at the videos if they haven't taken them down. But she literally said she couldn't remember Aleppo. Gary Johnson, that rang a bell. Anyway, she couldn't remember Aleppo. She said that Russia was at war with Aleppo in Syria and that they were at war with Korea. I mean, both of these females, one right behind the other. It was just such a treat to watch them be bumbling fools and fall flat on their faces. They couldn't have done a better job if they had literally slipped on ice and cracked their faces. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you for giving us Trump supporters more to laugh at you about and show us how dumb you really are.
Right.
Just because you have letters after your name doesn't mean that you're smart. It just means that you spoke with the right people and got in the right places at the right time. But clearly, they're delusional or senile and need to retire, or just plain stupid.
Amen.
But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that because I've had enough fun with it for one day. It was such a treat, I couldn't even believe it. It's better than a cinnamon roll. And I do love good cinnamon rolls. But I'm just going to revisit this point that the Democrats, the Democrats, and the libtards keep forgetting, and that is the concept of hard work.
Right.
We have an example here, and I'd like to use examples that people can understand, because clearly when you're dealing with these far left liberals, they're not playing with a full deck, so you have to slow things down for them, and make it easy to understand. So hopefully somebody will get something out of this who previously thought that lying succubus like Hillary Clinton deserved to run for president, which she didn't. So let me give you a comparison in layman's terms. So you've got a boss, right? You've got a boss who is in need of a manager. So he looks at two employees. He looks at you and he looks at your colleague. Well, he's like, I need somebody who's enterprising. I need somebody who's going to show up on time. I need somebody who's got some great ideas. I need somebody who's a hard worker. The usual things that supervisors look for in employees. So you've got two people. So you show up every day on time, sometimes early. You leave late. You do extra projects. You have great customer service skills. You've got people who ask for you by name. You've got great rapport with people. You take the time. You go the extra mile. You really prove yourself. You really just shine. You just show that you're a great, dedicated employee, while your co-worker over here provides poor customer service, little to none, doesn't care about anybody but herself. Every time the boss walks by, this bitch is on her phone, texting or taking selfies or on social media constantly, so she doesn't have time to work. And the boss sees that too. So who do you think he's going to choose when it comes time for this management position to be filled? Now, in a normal world, and not in this upside down, kooky, goofy, Shire, pixie dust, fairy sprinkles world like the liberals live in, we live in the real world. So in the real world, the person who is the most industrious, the hardest working, the person who shows up on time, leaves late, does extra projects, exudes great character, shows the customers that they care, they go the extra mile, they do extra projects, that person is going to get chosen for the job because they worked hard and they proved that they could do the job well. Right. While this other one just does her nails and has pretty nails and pretty hair and puts on her makeup and basically just like shows up every day and expects to get the management position simply by default. That is what you had with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Over here you have Donald Trump, to whom the aforementioned described was the hardworking, industrious person who went to all of the swing states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, went to all of Florida, went to the swing states and told the people what he was going to do as president, sometimes making between 4 and 7 stops per day toward the end of the rally. In fact, the last Trump rally in Colorado that I attended, right before November 8th, we were there, let me see, my friends and I, we walked out at almost 12:30 in the morning. I mean, we were at this rally, it's like time flew by, but it was 12:30 at midnight. So he had been traveling from coast to coast, ended up in Colorado, and we were his last stop. But that's my point. He was working it. He was working constantly. The man is a machine. He does not stop. He cares about people. He has not had a honeymoon or a rest period since he's been in the White House, because from the time that he was inaugurated, from the time that he was sworn in, he has been putting pen to paper and signing executive orders that will make America great again. MAGA, hashtag MAGA, okay? He is working. He is working overtime. He has worked overtime ever since he announced in 2015, June 2015, that he was going to run for president. He has done nothing but work his tailbone off. Okay, the man works constantly, 70 something years old, and you can't hardly keep up with him from what I'm hearing.
That's right.
So then you got this dumbass over here, Hillary Clinton, who had flyover states, places that she wouldn't even bother to go because she just thought she had it in the bag.
Nope.
And all she had to do was show up and say a couple of words. Then candidate Trump's speeches ran hour and a half or so. I mean, and it just seemed like 5 minutes because everything he was saying was what the American people had been waiting for many decades. Okay,
Right.
for decades, for years. Okay, so then you got this lame-o over here who thought all she had to do was put on her nasty pantsuits, slap some lipstick on, show up, speak for about 15 minutes, if that, and then she could just take off and go do whatever she wanted, and then go rest for 2 weeks in between time.
Yep.
So when the polls started to show, now she wanted the real polls, it was showing them that Donald Trump was actually very close to her, and those were the skewed polls. He was actually in the lead for pretty much the whole campaign.
Right.
So when she started to realize, oh crap, there's a chance that he could win, then she started to get up off her lazy fat ass and go and talk to people and pander to the Negroes and pander to the Latinas and pander to everybody else. She couldn't pander to the Haitians because she had already raped their country.
Yep.
So they didn't want to hear a word she or Bill had to say.
Right.
Anyway, she did nothing. She was lazy. She was shiftless. And her little sycophants and her little CNN, Clinton News Network correspondents, people over at the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, CNBC, the New York Post, the Washington Post, the LA Times, they were all in her pantsuit. They were all riding her jockstrap. They couldn't see straight unless she commanded them to do so. So she had all of these people working for her, and they kept telling her how great and wonderful she is, and she doesn't have any need to worry about anything. There's no way he can win. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Yeah, actually, he did win because he worked his tailbone off. He worked. He showed the American people what he would do. He made promises, and he is keeping those promises. He has shown us since before day one that he is the president that we have wanted for a long time.
Yeah.
And Hillary would have been a disaster. She's still a hot mess. She will always be a hot mess, and probably should have been working overtime instead of pandering to black folks, telling them you got hot sauce in your purse, which did you absolutely no good. And nobody wanted to call that racist.
Yep.
But everything that a Trump supporter does is Nazi or racist. So no, let me help you understand something. The difference between the person who works and the person who doesn't is that the person who works for what they have and works toward a common goal is the one who is successful. Donald Trump won. He is successful. He has been for decades. The man doesn't hardly sleep. He hits the pillows and he's out, but he wakes right back up to get to work for the American people. He's owned a business and a conglomerate for years. He has raised his children to be hard, industrious, hardworking people who don't slaze around and talk about daddy, 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 I need. No, you're going to work for it.
That's right.
So, Hillary, lesson to you. You lost because you're a lazy, fat nothing. And you thought that all you had to do was show up and you were going to be appointed by default just because you promised. You promised, and I'm a gun, and I should win, not him. That doesn't work anymore. We don't listen to your liberal whining anymore. Stop acting like a bunch of spoiled, rotten brats. We're over it. Donald Trump won because he worked for it. He
Right.
worked for it. He worked hard. And it pisses me off for you people to run around with your stupid little protests, whining like little bitches everywhere, sending your Soros-paid social justice wimps, not warriors, wimps, to run around all over the place, running Craigslist ads, paying them up to $2,500 a month to cause chaos. You don't know what you believe. You should all star in the movie Idiocracy because you're stupid. President Trump is President Trump because he worked for it.
That's right. Keep that in mind.
Hello, how is everybody? Just wanted to spend a few minutes, hopefully not too long, talking about this so-called fake news. I've spoke about this in other broadcasts because I find it highly ironic that the people who are the main purveyors of these lies, touting fake news, are the people who actually issued the fake news stories over the last 18, going on 19 months of President-elect Trump's election when he was candidate Trump. So, for instance, wanted to bring a couple of articles to your attention just to kind of back this up because I can rant all day long. And I really appreciate the people who stop in and who watch my videos. I really appreciate you. God bless you. I've had some constructive criticisms and some really strange messages. It's all good because we're all people. Oh, God. But this is unscripted, and I'm just speaking from my heart because, like I said, it's my contribution. And I just think that people need to know more about what's going on. When you hear from the New York Times or the Washington Post or CNN, anything about fake news, turn it off, tune it out, don't listen, because they are the main guilty party when it comes to fake news.
Right.
They put out fake stories.
Yep.
If you go back and look at some of the articles back in August of 2015, back in December of 2015, go back to February of 2016. Go back and look at some of these articles published. Go into the archives when you go to these websites. Don't stay on them long. But look at some of the news stories that have come that they published. You will see definitively they favored Hillary Clinton, hands down.
Yep.
This recently published piece by Craig Timberg, Timberg, who writes for the Washington Post, he wrote an article, and I'll put it up so I can quote it verbatim, talking about, they're on this fake news trip, and they're going overboard, okay? They're pissed off. This is all stemming from these, and by them, I mean the left, the far left, the liberals.
Yep.
These are people supposedly at top levels. Now we're not just dealing with these little rioters and protesters who have no jobs. These are people at the top who continue to come up with these sorry excuses as to why Hillary Clinton lost, because they still are in a fog and a daze, and they just cannot believe that she is not Madam President. Thank Christ she's not. She's a tyrant. She would have unloaded on this country in a way that we just would not even begin to understand. But let me go back to this article. It's titled, Russian Propaganda Effort Helped Spread, quote, fake news during elections, experts say. No, experts don't. And I'll elaborate on that. That's a bold-faced lie. That's fake news right there. And no experts have said this. And if they have, they're lying. I'll just say it now before I go down a rabbit hole and forget. A gentleman that worked for the NSA, 30-year veteran of the NSA, National Security Agency, NSA, the ones who spy on us and who don't just collect our metadata, but full data and content to see exactly what we're doing day and night. So you really don't ever have any real secrets. Anyway, very professional man with 30 years of experience with the NSA said definitively it was not the Russians who hacked into the DNC. It was not the Russians. And Hillary Clinton and her dumb camp keep coming out and disseminating these lies about how there was some kind of Russian hack that cost Hillary the election. No, Hillary cost Hillary the election.
That's right.
She's got too much baggage.
Right.
She's got too many problems that she caused for herself. She is the reason she lost the election. Nobody else's fault. Hers and hers alone. And she refuses to take even a half an ounce of responsibility for the years of criminal activity on her part.
Right.
There's no Russian hacking. Anyway, it's just mind-boggling that these people actually get paid to publish these lies and this nonsense. So I'll just read maybe the first paragraph. The flood of fake news this election season got support from a sophisticated Russian propaganda campaign that created and spread misleading articles online with the goal of punishing Democrat Hillary Clinton, helping Republican Donald Trump, and undermining faith in American democracy, say independent researchers who tracked the operation. That is a lie. Which independent researchers? Who are your sources, Craig Timberg? Where do you get this from?
Right.
You're making it up. And your editor, there's an editor's note at the top of this article, so I know the editor saw it. And so the Washington Post clearly has not learned anything with this election. They're still publishing lies. So let's, the counter to that, thank goodness, by Glenn Greenwald, who is a writer for The Intercept. And Glenn has answers to this with an article published November 26, 2016, saying Washington Post disgracefully promotes a McCarthyite blacklist from a new, hidden, and very shady group. On Thursday night, the Washington Post, on Thursday night promoted the claims of a new shadowy organization that smears dozens of U.S. news sites that are critical of U.S. foreign policy as being, quote, routine peddlers of Russian propaganda, end quote. The article by reporter Craig Timberg, as I just read, headlined Russian propaganda effort helped spread fake news during the election, experts say. So it cites a report by an anonymous website calling itself Prop or Not, a far-left organization. Undoubtedly, imagine my surprise, which claims that millions of Americans have been deceived this year in a massive Russian, quote, misinformation campaign, end quote. The only misinformation we have received is from the Washington Post, CNN, the Clinton News Network, as it is frequently referred to. It's frequently referred. The used to be the mighty New York Times. Now it's the measly New York Times because their readers are gone. Nobody wants to hear their lies anymore.
Yep.
So there's this list of 150, 200 fake news websites. And of course, on that, you will find Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. You will find Breitbart. You will find Drudge, the usual suspects who are labeled as being fake news. No, actually, the news published by Infowars, Alexander Jones and his team, the stories are real. They actually go to where the news is happening to get the information. They get the truth. That is the difference. That is what the far left doesn't want you to know. So they slap a classification on the truth and call it fake. It's this world we're living in that was prophesied millennia ago. Woe unto those who call evil good and good evil. And we're experiencing this thing where the far left is living in the Rivendell and the Shire. And there's just fairies and trolls, and they're just sprinkling pixie dust all over the place. Actually, I guess the pixies went on strike because Hillary Clinton lost the election. But she lost because she's got too much baggage. She lost because people don't trust her. Because she lied all the time to the American people. We don't want a liar-in-chief. We have a commander-in-chief, thank God, who is actually working on behalf of us, the American people. So, with these two articles, we find that I constantly on Clinton News Network, even on Fox, some of these far left liberals, they cannot conceive of how they could have been so wrong in determining that Hillary Clinton was going to lose the election. I mean, it's still unfathomable to them. So the easy way out is just to blame fake news. Let's just say the Russians did it. You know what? Eventually, Vladimir Putin and the Russians are going to get tired of you people talking about them having anything to do with the outcome of an American election.
Right.
It doesn't benefit them one way or the other. What do they have to gain? They would have... No, the big thing is they're likely not going to have to go to war with us. Hillary Clinton was the warmonger who kept saying she wanted to go to war with Russia. That it was the only way out. Donald Trump is more of a diplomat. He's actually getting things done. He's thinking strategically. That is why he's placing generals in these high positions, in these diplomatic positions where the military experience, they can speak to the military experience and to the civilian experience and come up with some actual plans and foreign policies that work and benefit America as well as our foreign agents.
Right.
So I'm going to cut this off. I just wanted to go briefly into this fake news farce. It is a farce. The only purveyors and publishers of fake news are the ones who have been lying to you, the American people, to try to get Hillary Clinton elected. For goodness sake, think back to CNN and Donna Brazile handing the answers prior to the town hall to Hillary Clinton so she didn't get stumped. CNN was involved in collusion with Hillary Clinton and Donna Brazile. Okay? Talk about fake news. You know what I love? I love when the mainstream media panics to such a degree that they have to put out some sort of list because it's their last stand, some sort of list saying that they are the only real news source. That those who ran up Hillary's pantsuits were the only ones who are real news. So the LA Times put out this fake news list. Yeah, they're that desperate. So here's my take on this. LA Times, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, the same silly, unimportant, irrelevant, not real news. You're the fake news. You're the fake news. I saw Barack Obama over in Deutschland saying that it was fake news that actually lost the election for Hillary Clinton. No, it was not fake news. It's the fact that she has baggage.
Yep.
She's a criminal who has not been tried for the crimes that she committed.
Right.
She had too much baggage, and the American people are fed up with you people telling us what to think, who to vote for, who we can listen to. As Chris Cuomo said about 2 months ago on CNN, when the WikiLeaks started to really heat up.
Yep.
Oh, well, it's illegal to look at WikiLeaks. It's illegal. It's actually illegal. And you need to just tune in to us, because we will analyze the news for you. We will analyze these WikiLeaks. We will read them. We will go through them, and we will tell you exactly what to look for and what's in the WikiLeaks. So anyway, I already hated CNN. That just really set me over the edge. I watched this fool say that. Mm-hmm. So mainstream media, you're finished. LA Times put out their little fake news list. I'll go over a few of them for you. Of course, InfoWars, I'll get back to them in just a second. BizPac Review, Breitbart News, Coast to Coast News, IntelliHub, The Inquisitor, Lou Rockwell News, Independent Journal Review. Let me go back to InfoWars for just a second, okay? I'm going to go over their supposed fake news stories. One of the headlines today was Merkel tells party ready to seek fourth term as chancellor. That's not fake, dumbass. That's news. That is real reporting. These are real journalists who have been doing your job for you for the past 18 months, because all you've done is demonize Donald Trump. Yep. And you've reduced his presidency to pretty much a joke. Are you laughing now? Mm-hmm. No, you're not, because it's real, it's happening, and you're living. It is very difficult for me not to cuss right now, but I'm trying to be professional, because I'm done with your crap. We are done. We elected the person who is the total outsider, who is not playing these little Hillary games, yep, who is not trying to tell us what to think, who is not trying to tell us who to listen to. I'm moving on. Next news headline, Marine Le Pen takes huge lead over nearest rival in French presidential election poll. That's not fake news, LA Times. That's real news. If you people would have been reporting real news the past 18 months, maybe you wouldn't be so discredited. You are discredited with people, particularly the American people, because you lie all the time. Mm-hmm. You're liars. You're reporting fake news, not InfoWars, not IntelliHub, not Dave Hodges, not Breitbart. They are not Drudge, because I'm sure Drudge is on your list. Drudge has more views in one day than you have all year. MSNBC, CNN only has about 750,000 watchers a day, while InfoWars has 80 million collectively. Next news story, Infowars.com, which is where I recommend that you go for your real news, not fake news, not Hillary news, not the Clinton News Network, CNN, because they're pro-Hillary and they're going to continue to lie to you because that's what they've done. They're sinking. They're on the Titanic. They've already hit the iceberg. The holes are in the bottom. The ship is plunging forward. It's going down, and they're trying to steal all the lifeboats from the women and children. Next news story on InfoWars. House Democrats in disarray as Ohio congressman challenges Pelosi. That's not fake news, stupid. His name is Tim Ryan, and he's a Democrat. He's Ohio Democrat, Democratic representative, and they're saying, oh, well, it's a publicity stunt. No, Nancy Pelosi, you're another little nasty looking freak who's on your way out. We're done with you too.
Yep.
LA Times, MSNBC, CNBC, CNN, you're done. Washington Post, you're finished. Did you hear what happened to Univision? Yeah, they're laying off more than 6% of their staff in the wake of the election in which President Trump won.
Amen.
You know why? Because they've spent, what was this? This Carlos Ramon, their most famous so-called news reporter, spent 18 months or more demonizing Donald Trump. It didn't work.
Yep.
See, we're going to hit you in your pocketbook. We're going to hit you in the wallet.
Right.
Grab them by the wallet. Hashtag grab them by the wallet. Hamilton, you're done. Pepsi, you're done. Grubhub, you're done. You people are going to learn. You should stay in your place. Stay in your lane. We are the people, and we are the consumers, and we're the ones who are driving this economy. We're the ones who are keeping you in business. And when you demonize and try to talk crap about us, because, as Hillary called us, deplorables, because we support President Donald J. Trump, what's up? What's up?
Amen.
You're going to lose revenue. We're going to hit you in the pocketbook. And as soon as Gab is up and running and it's not beta anymore, we're done with Twitter. Done. You can have it, Jack. We don't want you anyway. You're constantly deleting our posts, saying they're unavailable. You people, mainstream media, you're done. You're finished. We don't want you. The people have spoken. While everybody's still in a tailspin, in a whirlwind, because they don't understand what happened. Go back in your safe spaces, snowflakes.
Amen.
Go back into your little cry rooms with your Play-Doh and your crayons and your coloring books and your little guide dogs and puppies. Go into your little safe spaces, because we are real people dealing with real issues. We don't have time to sit around and cry. For 8 years, we have been put with feet on our necks by the outgoing lame duck administration. Now, the Republicans and President Trump has control of the presidency, the House, the Senate, and Congress.
Amen.
We're done with your shit.
Amen.
We are done with you, LA Times. You're finished. We're not going to subscribe to you anymore. New York Times, that's why you had to send a letter to your subscribers telling them that you were sorry for misrepresenting the news. No, you weren't working at all. You weren't doing anything except propping up that reanimated corpse who is sitting there having to be sedated somewhere in upstate New York because she can't handle the fact that she lost the election. And that's who we were supposed to have as president. Somebody crying, somebody who can't take bad news. Really? She's the one who talked for months about how Donald Trump doesn't have the right strength or temperament. Really?
Get on
CNN, you're done. You people need to start looking for better jobs.
Amen.
And learn how to tell the truth in news reporting. Okay? Snopes, you're not a fact check site. You're a Hillary shill. You're just like the rest of them. When we all turn our backs on you, because we don't have to be diplomatic about it. We're going to hit you in the wallet. Start it. I've already started the hashtag. Grab them by the wallet. That's how you wake people up.
Right.
Your pathetic little last drag attempt at demonizing President Trump and trying to make consumers believe what you say. We don't. And I'm telling people, when I meet them on the streets, through my videos, through in school, the little snowflakes that I have to sit in political science with, who still believe for some odd reason that you're credible, you're irrelevant, you're a dinosaur media, you're done, you're finished. InfoWars is killing you, and you know it.
Amen.
They're killing you. Matt Drudge is killing you, burying you. Breitbart is kicking your ass, and you're jealous.
Uh-huh.
You bitches walking around the newsroom at CNN looking like you're getting ready to go to a fashion show instead of report the news.
Yep.
You're done.
Yep.
You're done. See ya. Go try to get a little modeling job or maybe cheer for the New York Giants or something. Because we don't watch you anymore. We watch real news. We want to know the truth about what's going on.
Right.
We don't want any more of your lies. You've spent 18 months propping up Hillary Clinton. She still lost. All the tricks, all the lies, all the demonization, all the obfuscation, all of the negative reports about Donald Trump. Every negative, untrue news story you tried to bring up and throw in, you still lost.
Amen.
We're done with you. We don't watch you anymore. We don't read the New York Times. We don't read LA Times. We don't watch CNN. Done. Done.
Right.
You're done. And you're grasping at the last little lifeboat because you can see the Titanic in the distance sinking.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do. I get it. But you need to stop being a snowflake and a little cupcake and face reality and
Right.
understand that you need to repent for your sins because you've been lying about an administration that is on this Trump train and we're running you over.
That's right.
We're
Amen.
running you over. So you either get out the way or get run over.
Right.
It's that simple. But all in all, I hope you make the right decisions from now on.
That is so right. Amen.
Welcome back to Hannity. President Trump earlier today showed his support for the people of Texas that are suffering greatly in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. Joining us now with reaction, editor-in-chief Life Zet, Fox News contributor, nationally syndicated radio rock star. Can you just add a few more items to your resume for crying out loud?
Yeah,
Gee,
right.
anything else I forgot? Best-selling author?
Yeah, can throw an overhand hard ball really fast. Okay. Other than that.
You know, I wish I could have a sense of humor and say the media is just irresponsible and hateful. The
Yeah.
attacks against our first lady and the first daughter and an 11-year-old kid and anybody that likes Trump, this is about as low as you get when you attack the shoes of the first lady as she's going to help people out that have lost everything. I can't even imagine how we got to this point.
Well, I think it's a sign of how desperate the left is. It's a sign of how absolutely unhinged they are. And I love how they're always for individual expression in your sexuality, expression in your views on abortion, your expression on a whole bunch of things. But now you can't express yourself in the way you dress. I mean, they're for dressing in all manner of crazy fashion choices, except, Melania, for like some period of time, decides she wants to wear heels, and she had sneakers on. Big deal. We have a catastrophe in Texas. We're dealing with it the best we can. The people of Texas coordinating with the feds. The state is doing, I think, a tremendous job under Greg Abbott. I'm so glad you had him on tonight. What a star. And I think people are grateful that they actually have leadership that can navigate a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-century weather event. This is really hard. And the best that, Trump is doing a good job in coordinating when the best that they have is Melania's shoes. Okay, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's what, you know,
But they didn't
but
have
in
enough
many ways,
before,
I've been
though.
arguing, Laura, that with
Had to
all of
degrade
the
him somehow.
obsession to take down the president and smear and slander him every day, in the process of focusing all their attention on that, the media, the Democrats, and weak Republicans and everybody else, they're not serving the forgotten men and women that are in poverty on food stamps and that, the labor force. By focusing in on the insignificant, they're not helping the people that are struggling to save lives and are trying to rebuild their lives now. And to me, this exposes it's almost as if, you know what it is? It's like they were hoping the president failed for cheap political points. Let me just be blunt. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah. They don't want to see him in a successal mode at all. So
Right.
when he has an event like this befall the nation, befall the state of Texas, when we have a FEMA that actually coordinates correctly, it's not easy to do it, and they do a pretty good job. He's never going to get an accolade. I don't even think he's waiting for that. But what I will say, Sean, is no, he doesn't care. He knows what they are. But you hit on it when you talked about, you know, they want to go right to the core of fomenting discontent. They're not helping the average person by this type of nonsense, this type of commentary. And what they have is identity politics. They're steeped in it. That's all they have. And I think that's all they ever will have, whether it's the far left black bloc crowd, where they just want to shut down speech, or whether it's the so-called moderate progressives that also don't want to debate. They want to demonize. So they might not physically attack you, but they'll demonize you and dismiss you and demean you in the way that they're doing to Trump or to any Trump supporter.
Right.
I've got to run, but I'm going to say this. Here's my prediction. This is going to boomerang back so hard and hit them so hard they won't know what has happened. And they don't realize that people are seeing through this now.
And that is just the way I feel about it myself. It's going to boomerang. It's going to backslap their butts. It's going to turn them every which way but loose. And they ain't going to know what to do because of all the bull crap they've been feeding us. All the shit they've been trying to do to us. It's time America stands up and speaks our piece and gets rid of all this bull crap we got going on. The Antifas, Black Lives Matter, ISIS, Hillary, Obama, and all of them yahoos out there that hasn't got a grip, that President Trump has got them by the yahoos. Okay? So, like I said, if you don't like what the video is talking about, sorry for your luck, because it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. And the coffee's brewing. Talk at you later. This is Gail Harrelson on President Trump and the left and all the BS that's been going on over the years. And we're starting to wake up and see what's going on and fix what the problem is. Talk at you later. Bye.